This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is one of my favorite guests to have on our program. He's my guy when we talk junior mining, exploration, and just really what's going on in commodities and natural resources markets. And this gentleman's name is Brent Cook from Exploration Insights. Brent, thank you for joining me today. How are you holding up?
Hey, good to see you, Robert. Yeah, it's not doing so bad, all things considered.
It doesn't look like you're doing too bad out there.
Yeah.
Well, last time we had you on here, I think it was January this year. Now, that few things have happened, right? The seasons have changed. I'd say your beard has grown a little bit, and we've had a global pandemic. So I have to ask, from your perspective, kind of from a macro view of the junior mining space that you love and you look at on a daily basis, how has this pandemic really affected what you're looking at all the
time? I think, the most important aspect of this in terms of what I do is the gold price has climbed up to about $17.50 an ounce now. And with all the money being pumped into the system from the central banks around the world and probable issues we're going to face going forward with the global economy and such, I see very few reasons why the gold price is going to go down. And I see a lot of reasons why the gold price is going to go up. So, from my perspective, what we're seeing is a lot more money starting to come into the gold sector and the junior mining space. The floor of funds is definitely reversed over the past month. And it's due to do a lot better. I mean, really the gold space, and particularly the gold mining companies and junior exploration companies, as you know, have been down and out and hammered over the past 5 or 6 years. I mean, it's been difficult to make money in that sector, but it's all looking a lot better right now. So in terms of, where my money sits and where I'm putting my money and where the newsletter Exploration Insights is focused is on just getting in and staying into the solid companies and people.
So, I mean, are you also seeing more risk capital, and what I mean by that is money flowing into some of these more riskier projects that maybe, the natural resource is a little bit deeper, or, the grams per ton is not, the grade's not that great. I mean, are you starting to see more money go into those projects too? Because that's usually when, I remember back in, I think it was 2011, when last time gold was approaching 1800, you saw money getting thrown at all sorts of things. So, I mean, are we starting to see that yet, or are we still kind of at the early stages of this kind of gold move up?
Yeah, the issue we face in this sector is really there's gold doesn't sell for $17.50 an ounce because it's easy to find. It's really difficult to find. Yet there are in the order of 1,300 companies listed in Canada alone that are out there looking for mineral properties. And there's no way they can all have an economic discovery and deposit. So although there's a lot of choices of where to, speculate with your money, the quality companies are few and far between. So you're right. We're starting to see now money flowing in from technically, competent spaces into the stories that we've seen, return and return each cycle of deposits that just will never make money, but they're big and they can make a big story about them. So yeah, the short answer is yes, we're seeing money start to flow into dumb deals. Is that the answer?
Yeah, no, that's I mean, that answers my question right there. I mean, what then are you doing with your money? And actually, I'm going to rephrase it like this: where have you visited lately?
Well, as you know, it's hard to get on an airplane these days. But actually, I live in southern Utah. Last week, I was up on Liberty Gold's Black Pine project just over the border in Idaho. And that's a company that we own in Exploration Insights. a solid company doing good work. They've got plenty of cash. So I visited that and came away very pleased with what I saw. I'm glad, glad to own the company. Later this summer, I can go look at a number of things in Nevada and Idaho, which I probably will as part of, a camping trip. And so I can still look at a lot of things in the States. Joe's based out of Canada. He can still look at a lot of things up there. One of us is probably going to go to Alaska this summer to check out a couple of companies. One we own or two we own and one we're looking at buying. So we're still getting out and seeing things. And, both Joe and I have been in this business long enough that we've got geologic friends scattered across the world that we can talk to about what's going on other projects we're looking at. So we're still pretty well connected.
I mean, are you looking at new companies and new discoveries, or are you looking at new companies? Because there could be new discoveries within old companies, right? But are you looking at new companies that are out there, or you've been mostly revisiting some companies that, well, now they might have a more economic deposit because the price of gold is going up?
The price of gold is going up doesn't really affect what we're looking for, because what we're looking for is top tier discoveries, being economic deposits that will work at a, say, $1,250 gold price, which is what most of the majors are using to calculate their reserves, and a deposit that a major mining company will want to buy. That's really our exit strategy. I know there's, other way we could go about an exit strategy where just selling to the greater fool theory, but we prefer to sell to someone smarter than us, which is a major mining company. And to be honest, we really don't want embarrassing things in our portfolio.
Fair enough. I don't think any of us do. So I mean, so that's an interesting topic there. I mean, what are major mining companies then looking for, either right now or maybe in the near term?
Well, we've seen a number of acquisitions over the past year, and what the mid-sized companies want to get bigger because they want to attract funds out of the big funds out of New York and such, and that takes a bigger market capitalization. So they're merging companies that way. Mid-tier companies are looking to grow also by discovery or acquiring a deposit. And again, this property I looked at, Liberty Goals, that's a project that has 2 to 3 million ounce potential. I can see that, that much being there of economic potential, easy setup, permitting's easy, no real land issues. So what they're looking for is a deposit where they can come in when most of the issues have been checked off. Most of the problems that could arise have been checked off, and just buy it and build it. That's what they're really looking for anywhere in the world. And so we're kind of focused on projects like that. Another one is Trilogy Metals up in Alaska, copper deposit. But South 32, a mega company out of Australia, is earning in on that project. And they're just ticking off the permitting. They're probably going to get the road permit. So as the risk decreases, the attractiveness of the deposit increases to a large company looking to expand and continue growing their business.
Got it. And real quick, do you own either of those companies that you just?
Yeah, we own both of those companies.
Got it. So Brent, I also have to follow up on that. I mean, especially with the global pandemic going on, has that slowed down some of this merger and acquisition process? Because these guys can't get on a plane and do their due diligence.
It has. Certainly there have been pushback, probably 2 months in terms of actively going and visiting projects. Projects that have been visited in the past and the negotiations were quite advanced. They went ahead. In fact, we saw SSR Mining and Alistair Gold merge just this past week, which is Alistair has a fantastic gold deposit in Turkey, and SSR has a couple here in North America. So that went ahead, but the due diligence has been done. Due diligence now is probably going to be starting within the next month, but there's a 2-month gap in here where nobody got out and looked anything. So yeah, it has been put behind.
Got it. And what's your parting take then for you know, let's say there's some investors that are watching this that may not have too much experience with junior mining and gold, and, you know, but they see what's happening, and they see, you know, they're maybe interested in getting some exposure to that in their portfolios. You know, what's your advice to them?
There's a few ways to go about it. I think it's important to bear in mind that this is a high risk speculative endeavor, I guess, if you will. We're not investing in IBM or Apple. We're investing in mining companies who are at risk with the metal price, they're at risk with the jurisdiction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, if you buy the reasoning as to why the gold price is going to continue rising, you can do it via some sort of an ETF, GDX, GDXJ, listed in US. You can buy the big mining companies, or you can, if you're really after a bit of, looking for a bigger bang, you go down into the junior mining companies and even the exploration companies, which is kind of where we focus. I think if you go into that sector, you want to do it with advice from somebody, either if your stockbroker knows it, great. Sprott Resource, there's Sprott Inc. out of Carlsbad. They've got all their brokers know the mining industry. Our newsletter, Exploration Insights, I think that's a good way to cover it. You've got two geologists on the beat that have been around the world and know what's going on. Our Exploration Insights website.com, explorationinsights.com. There's lots of free information there. You can see what we're doing and such. But I think as you go down into the higher risk, higher reward sector, you want to get a bit more advice if this is not your area of expertise.
Well, with that, and Brent, you just said for more information where we can go, but let's ask again, where can everybody who's watching this go and follow you, Joe Mazumdar, and Exploration Insights?
Right, explorationinsights.com is the website, and you can also look us up on YouTube. There's a number of videos where Brent Cook and Joe Mazumdar are on there.
I like YouTube. Let's go out. I like it. YouTube. Yeah, no, I like YouTube. I mean, I can go and watch YouTube in the YouTube. All right, that's a terrible joke. Anyways, with that, Brent, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and stay safe. I look forward to the next update.
Thanks. See you, Robert.